Hello and welcome to the Topper Machine Bee Apiary. I'm Josh Topper, and we've got kind of a special one today. This is not something I was going to film, and it was kind of an emergency thing last night, but as you can see, there is a box on top of that hive. And I got a phone call last night about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon from a friend of mine who had a swarm of honeybees in one of his apple trees. And I'll put the pictures up. He took some good pictures of it, so you can see kind of what we did and how we did it. So this swarm of bees was a pretty big one, and what they do is they when a hive either gets overcrowded or they get stressed or whatever, they will swarm. They'll split the hive, they'll make a new queen, and they'll leave. Half of the bees will leave the hive. This was a big swarm. I've caught swarms before, but nothing this big. So this is a pretty healthy hive. I actually could have took a bigger box with me, so it worked out. We got them all in there, and it was really cool. I knocked the first batch in there, I went and looked, and I found the queen, and then we stood there and watched, and the bees slowly worked their way from that swarm in the tree down to the box. It was really cool. By the time we were all done, there were very few bees left flying around in the air. Took about an hour, and so we caught pretty much the whole swarm, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put them in one of my hives, because we had 4 hives going into last winter and we lost 3 of them. One of them survived, that's the tall one here, and they're doing pretty good, but we're going to get this other hive installed and hopefully they can build up good stores for winter, and maybe they'll overwinter. I'm hopeful. Winters here are extremely hard to survive for bees. We're in just this region that's so bad for winter that they just really struggle to survive. We'd give them every opportunity, everything we can do to keep them, healthy and warm through winter, but it just sometimes does not work out. So let me get suited up and we'll head in there and get these guys put in the new hive. All right, so I'm just gonna move them over here because we're gonna put them into this hive. And we got a lot of bee activity today, but check that out. So they're already working on this new, I put existing drawn out frames in here, and look at how calm they are. Just very calm, happy. I did find the queen when I transferred them into here. I started checking after that first shake and dropping them in, and I did find her. So, and the workers were already starting to clean out the cells, so they were ready to get to work. One just landed on my thumb here. Look at how calm. I mean, very calm bees so far. All right, we're gonna open up this box. I see my other hive here is robbing, so I'm hoping they're not too much into it. Well, worst case, I might check that one, but it don't look too bad. There's bees in there, but this is one of our hives that did not overwinter, died on us. See if I can get a frame out or two. I'm actually going to go down to the bottom box, and so there's still honey in here, which is good. That'll give these new bees a good start. I'm just going to yank one out of the middle and take a peek, see how they look. Oh yeah, there's still a lot of honey in here. They're working on cleaning it out though. As you can see, they're emptying out the cells. So I'm going to try to get the new bees in here as quick as I can, but I'm going to go into the bottom box. You want to start them in the bottom. So I'm going to take out the middle 5 frames to just drop these 5 frames into. nicely. I'm going to swap this frame out with this one. So here is our first frame that I pulled, and I just saw the queen. Where did she go? She's right there in the middle. I don't know if you guys can see it at all. I'm trying to hold it. She's working her way right in the center towards me. She's almost to the bottom, and she just turned around. But there she is, so that's good. That's a really good sign. We know where she is. We're gonna put her right here where she's safe. So I don't squish her, putting her in the rest of the bees in the box. And I'll just go ahead and start yanking the rest of these frames and moving them over. I mean, look at all those bees. Look at that, beautiful. And they're just so calm. The way they're acting, I could very well probably do this without a bee suit. They're just so calm. I mean, look at just beautiful frames of bees. So they're going to be very happy in this new hive here. In fact, what I'm going to do to coax them up is I'm actually going to put one of these frames that I took out of here back in as it's empty, and that'll give them a working space. And then I'm going to put that last hive in the upper box so as to coax them to come up some. So I'm just going to yank one right out of the middle and we'll drop it in there. Well, that's a nice frame of honey and stuff. The other bees will work on cleaning that out. So we'll just drop this frame right in there. And then I'm going to take these guys, this is the rest of the bees, and just give them a bump, knock them right in. That's simple. And I'll leave this other box, the one I caught the swarm in, I'll leave that out here for the rest of the day so that the bees can transfer over. I'll just put the cover back on, and then I'll set that box back on top of this box but uncovered. I'll probably put these frames in it, and then I can come back and check later and see if bees have come back to this box or not, and empty them out again. But at least these frames are where they're accessible to be cleaned out by the other bees. So pretty simple and straightforward. You know, catching swarms is a lot of fun. I've done it a couple of times here on our own property. We've caught our own swarms, but this is the first time I've gone out and caught a swarm from somebody else's property. So it was really nice that my friend Tom gave me a call. Very happy about this. So now we've got a second hive. So I know somebody's going to ask, you know, I had my other bees, this hive was robbing out of this box, and bees do that. They'll go to other hives and steal stuff. Now that there's an established hive in there, that hive will defend the hive and keep these other bees out. So they're going to make this their home. They've already accepted the frames overnight, and they were working pretty hardcore on it, so I'm very happy with that. But they'll defend this hive and keep the other bees out, and should be fine. That's a very healthy swarm, a very large swarm, so I have no worries whatsoever. What I may do though is I may put the entrance reducer in just to keep a smaller entrance so it's easier for them to defend for a few days, and then we'll let them loose and see how they do. So simple as that. So I want to bring you down here and show you this quick. We've got a yellow jacket and a honeybee fighting, so they are already defending the hive. And look at that, they're fighting out the other bees, so they're already defending their new hive. So look at that, pretty cool. So the honeybees, they'll sting to death or they'll kill that yellow jacket for sure, but they'll also drive out or kill the bees that are not part of their hive. So pretty awesome. They're doing good already. Yeah, I think that yellow jacket is dead. Well, so far they're looking really good. They're defending this new hive that I put them in. And if you watch, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but they come out, a bee will come out, it'll make a circle, a small circle, it'll go up a little more, make a bigger circle, and it'll make a really big circle, and then they take off. And that's them getting their bearings and going to work. So the first time out of the hive, they do that, and then they're good to go. So there's a lot of activity here. It's really cool. They're defending their new hive. So now I'm gonna come back tonight, and I'll probably grab the stuff, the supplies, just to see where they're at, and not, clean them out more if I have to, but we should be in good shape. Just really cool to catch a swarm like that. I can't thank Tom enough. It was great that he called me, and I was able to save these guys. So hopefully we'll get some honey this year. I've been selling it in my online store, so I hope you appreciate that. I know it's going to be a little tougher this year. We're not going to come up with the honey like we had, but I'm hoping we still get some to cover some of our expenses here. This is not a cheap thing to get into and to maintain, but once they're going, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's good for the environment. So I caught this swarm Monday evening. It's Tuesday morning right now. I think I'm going to release this video on Sunday morning, just as a little something extra. Friday or Sunday, I'm not sure yet. I guess you'll know when it's up. And I'll come back and do a quick follow-up in a day or two and see how they're doing to add to this video. All right, it's been a couple of days now, and they are doing amazingly well. They're in and out. I'm watching. I'm not seeing pollen coming in yet, but they are doing very well. I don't want to go into the hive just yet. I want to give it at least a week so the bees can, the queen can start laying eggs, just kind of keep them, less stress. That's what we're after, but they are looking amazingly well. Looks like they're doing a good job. Well, that's pretty cool to catch a swarm like that. Thanks again, Tom, for the phone call. That was, I'm very happy to have the bees, and I'm glad we were able to save as many of them as we could. It's kind of always the thing. You're going to lose a few when you catch a swarm like that, because there are other bees out searching for a new home that are going to come back to that location, and there's nobody left. It happens. And unfortunately, it's the cycle of life for a honeybee. But very cool, very cool. They're doing very well so far. Like I said, I'm going to give them a week. I'm going to go in, check them again, make sure they're doing good. I'll probably throw a honey super on then, just to give them a little more space. And then hopefully we get some honey out of these guys, or at least they build up enough stores to make it through winter. So with that, thanks for watching this special video. And until next time, get out in your shop and get it done right the first time.